Hello, friends. Welcome to Hump Day Happy Hour. Can you believe we're almost through May? My goodness. I have been on a binge watching bender, so there's lots to discuss with you guys. I'm really excited about a lot of things. I'm eager to hear about what you're watching. I've been taking some of your suggestions too and trying some new shows, and I'm just kind of trying to get in on all the popular shows that I wasn't really on board with initially or just didn't have time to get to. So I'm eager to see what you guys want to talk about, and then I'll let you know what I've been watching too. And pardon my gaze here, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows where to go. So as always, I'm sending out my link to let everybody know where I'm at so that everyone can join the fun. And most recently, I just watched the pilot episode of Killing Eve. I know some of you have been watching that and have been wanting to talk about it. And yeah, it's good. It was really good. So I'm intrigued. I'll definitely be tuning in for more. I wasn't sure if if it would really get me hooked. And I didn't realize that Phoebe Waller-Bridge wrote the pilot episode too. I know she had written some episodes for it. I haven't seen Fleabag, but it's something I'm curious about too. So there might be more of her work that I'll be looking into now after this. And then last week I had talked about how I binged Penny Dreadful, and I was a little disappointed about that. I won't just repeat myself now. If new people come in and want to talk about it, I'll talk about it some more. Then I've watched my fair share of supernatural sagas and dramas, and I don't know, the twists were unfulfilling, and it felt kind of just drawn out and a little boring. So, yeah. Right now, though, I'm in the middle of binging The Great on Hulu, and it is pretty hilarious. I don't know, it kind of hits sort of a little plateau where it's less interesting around episode 5, 6, 7. But the first chunk of it's really, really funny. I don't know. In the middle of the season, it kind of just focuses too much on the sex stuff and plays it out a little too much, and then kind of goes for cheap, lame laughs. So it's just a little bit less gripping and engaging. Hey Bobby. Hey Tom. How are you guys doing? Have you guys been watching The Great? Nope. Bob. Yes? Okay. How far along into the season are you, Bobby? I'm curious. It's funny, Tom. It kind of reminds me, I don't remember, Tom, if you saw Gallivant. It sort of reminds me of the Gallivant humor, especially with huzzah. Oh my God, that's awesome. You met her? God, she seems just so statuesque and, like delicate at the same time. But she seems really sweet. Mm-hmm. Oh, good to hear that, Tom. Yeah, it's except it's for more adult humor. So there's a lot of swearing, but it's hilarious swearing, and it's kind of meta. So they'll convey things and speak sometimes in ways that are very contemporary. That's so cool, Bobby. I love when you meet them and they, like exceed your expectations. I haven't seen Teen Spirit though, but she's amazing in everything she does. She's been on a roll. And Nicholas Hoult and Elle Fanning should definitely get nominations for their work in The Great. They are both so, so good. And, okay, I'll look into Teen Spirit. My watch list keeps on growing. So yeah, Tom, so it's the beginning of Catherine the Great's story when she first marries Peter. Peter the Horrible. He doesn't even have anything. He's the son of Peter the Great, and he sucks, basically. And so the funny thing is, sort of to prepare for that, I watched Helen Mirren's Catherine the Great, because I just wanted to get like a sense of it, and I always wanted to watch that one. So that's at the end of Catherine the Great's life, after she had the coup and got rid of Peter. So she was supposedly behind his assassination or death, or I'm still not sure exactly how it goes down. Hey, Mark. Hey, I'm so happy you could join us. We're talking about The Great on Hulu, which is British-ish. So you might be interested in it too. It's really cheeky. But so the first couple episodes of watching The Great, since I knew the end game is that Catherine becomes the Empress and gets rid of Peter, allegedly, I'm like, oh my God, I can totally see why Peter deserves to go. He is such an ass. So I'm literally like waiting. Although Nicholas Holt's amazing and he's fun to watch and it's hilarious, I'm like, kill him already. He sucks. He has no idea what he's doing. So it's really, it's entertaining. And I don't know, Bobby, I'm curious to hear what you think as you go further along into the season. I'm about 7 episodes in, and kind of 5, 6, 7 were a little meh compared to the greatness of the first 4 episodes. But yeah, still all in all, it's good and entertaining, and I'm sure it'll be up for awards whenever award season picks up again, because it's well deserved. And even the supporting cast too, like I love the lady who plays Catherine's like lady's maid, but not really a lady. She's been demoted. So there's just all sorts of like social and class play, and Catherine's trying to bring them into a more philosophical and artful and cultured way of thinking. So I don't know if the Oscars and the Emmys are going to be delayed. I have no idea how everything's gonna like play itself out. I do think though that they're opening the Oscars up to include like on-demand release films and stuff too, which makes sense. I mean, if Netflix counts and all of the Amazon movies and everything like that counts, you know, that sort of movies, the game changed already with streaming. And if anything, I think this is gonna kind of hurt the box office economy, because they'll see that they'll make pretty decent money at, you know, just bringing them to our televisions, since everyone can't always go to the movies or can't afford to go to the movies. So I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. Yeah, nothing's coming out. It's really frustrating, because there were all these movies that were supposed to, and even some that's like, oh, come on, just, you know, grin and bear it and do an on-demand debut. Like, you know, don't be a douche about it. Like, I understand Wonder Woman and like those kinds of sweeping, action-packed movies that need to be seen, you know, in a theater where you can feel the whole room shaking around you. I understand that, but a lot of the stuff, I'm just like, oh, put it on TV for us. So I just read an article about Ruby Rose leaving Batwoman today, and they were making it sound like it was, according to this TV Line article, it was sort of a mutual breakup, is the way they were putting it, because like she wasn't happy there, therefore she wasn't very happy and pleasant to work with while she was there. So that's just according to TV Line sources. So I was surprised, because I'm like, I thought actors are under contract, and you know, when you sign up to do something like that, you're stuck with it, at least for a little bit. You know, it's rare for someone to leave unless they're kicked out. That's like the only time you see someone leave. And then apparently Skeet Ulrich wants out of Riverdale too. So I don't know. I don't know all the details. I don't follow both of those shows, so I haven't been paying attention. Um, yeah, I know. Sometimes you never do find out. So I thought for the next day, for the source to at least say that much was interesting too. But yeah, I think she had like injured herself doing the stunts and was in chronic pain, and the filming schedule was much more grueling than she anticipated, according to what the source was saying. Oh, it could have been a 1-season contract. That's true. I didn't even think about that because Arrowverse shows are like guaranteed hits. Ooh, speaking of which, has anyone watched Stargirl? I'm kind of interested. I was sort of going to just kind of leave all those DC shows and start, fading out of it. But oh, I see. If it benefits the studio, contracts can be broken too. Okay. Well, I remember back during Sleepy Hollow. Did any of you guys watch Sleepy Hollow? Oh, okay. Stargirl just started, so if you're interested in the DC universe, it's about the Justice Society of America. So, which I love that arc on Smallville. So I was really, when I looked into it more, I wasn't paying attention to it, in all honesty, because a lot of them end up disappointing me. So I was like, oh, I get hooked on another new one. But so it's about what is it? Is it? She's the daughter of one of them. I forget which one it is. It's not Starman, is it, you guys? Those of you who know, I know some of you know. and so her father is killed as part of the Justice Society of America. So she wants to avenge him or find him, or he was disappeared. I don't know. Again, I did not look closely into it, but I was like, wait a minute, if it's going to have to do with the Justice Society, and it's not just like a random other kind of a thing, then I was a little bit more interested in it. And they got some good actors too, like Joel McHale is her missing father, and then Sleepy Hollow. Neil Jackson from Sleepy Hollow is Icicle in Stargirl. But oh yeah, going back to the Ruby Rose thing on Sleepy Hollow, the girl who played the main lead next to Tom Mice and Ichabod Crane, Nicole Bahari, supposedly she was kind of very difficult to work with too. So it's like the fans really loved her, but the studio was having trouble with her. So so apparently she was supposed to be killed off sooner, but they ended up killing her off a little later. And like the fans were just thrown for a loop for it because they were like, wow, what? How? And even Orlando Jones had some issues, so he left the show earlier. So that show was so good. The first season was the best. It had so much potential, but I think just the politics and crap behind it, kind of screwed things up. So it sort of lost its groove. But when they kind of rebooted it in the 4th season, I actually liked the 4th season. And I was hoping it would continue again with like a new, clean palette of, everyone getting along now since all the drama was out of the way. Oh, I didn't know Animal Kingdom. And like Lethal Weapon, the main guy in Lethal Weapon was a jerk apparently, so they got rid of him. But I mean, recasting some roles, especially after a few seasons, then you can't just like, and then if they're essential, you can't kind of get rid of them and just like bring in somebody different. Like I never understood why on Fresh Prince when I was young and watching that show, I'm like, why would they change Vivian? Like you can't just change the person playing the mom all of a sudden. But you never know behind the scenes stuff. It's funny. I know, right? It's like, it's your job. You're getting paid really good money. And that's the one thing, like if anyone's doing television at this point and you're going to carry a show, it's a known thing. Like you work the most hours, you have to be there, you have to put in the hard work. And that's just part of it. It's not like anything else. I mean, that's why they make such a big deal about the people who've done it for so long. Like on Smallville's Tom Welling, he was the constant presence for 10 years. He did that, and he wasn't bitching about it at the time. he wanted to like expand the cast a little bit to give himself a touch of a break, but he was in every single episode, just like Sam and Dean and Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. It's like there are ways that they kind of help by bringing in more key supporting cast members, but that's just the way it goes, people. If you're going to be in television and you're going to be the lead and you're the titular character, you know it's going to be happening. So I don't know. It's sort of a lame ass excuse. And then when people are just divas, it's just not fair. It's unacceptable. It's because you have not just the other cast members, but crew, whenever there's like hundreds of thousands of people around you that make everything work. So I never understood that, and it is disappointing. It starts to show on screen too. So, and it goes both ways, men and women. So whatever. Sorry, didn't mean to rant, but I don't get it either. I was surprised. I was like, damn, one season in and she's already calling it quits. What happened? And I'm not even invested in it. I was just like, what happened? Did anybody watch Stargirl? Just curious. Tom or Adriel, sorry. I think my kilt lifter's starting to get to me. Yeah, right? It's like anyone who wants to be an actor has to work so hard. And then once you're in that position, you're just like supposed to be grateful for whatever you could do because you were living your dream. So, and I'm sure the kind of work you've started off with too, it's like when you're an extra, you literally just like sit around waiting for the key actors to do their thing, and you don't hear extras griping, and they're just like getting paid peanuts sitting around watching everyone else, and they'll be in like crappy conditions too up at the crack of dawn and stuff. So so it's kind of like a team effort. It's just a given. I don't know. So the way it's working out with shows like The Flash is they're kind of wrapping up the season with the episodes that were finished already, and then they're going to pick up with those episodes and kind of make them work into the next season. Yeah, totally. I know, a lot of people don't respect it. There was a sweet story about Javier Bardem would take blankets to the extras working on his film sets and stuff, like if they were in cold and crappy shooting conditions, because he got his start as an extra and he knows what it's like. So there's some actors too who value that and show that kind of respect and are sweet about it, which is always nice. Yeah, but Mark, so that's the way they're doing it, except for shows like Supernatural, where it was the series finale that they didn't get to film, and there's still special effects and stuff, so they're just it's just left hanging, and then they're going to resume next year or next season. Oh, are you invested in The Flash, Mark? I have to catch up. I fell behind. In a way, this hiatus gives me time to kind of catch up. Yeah. I think The Flash is still one of my favorite ones. Legends too, but I liked Legends in the beginning more, oddly enough. Probably because of Wentworth Miller too. He made a huge difference on that show. I miss him on Legends of Tomorrow. That's another one too. Brandon Routh and his wife, Courtney Ford, were both, for some reason, they were like, okay, you guys are done on Legends of Tomorrow. Don't know why, but they just wrapped up their arc. And in the comments on like Instagram and stuff, fans were like, oh, why do you have to go? And, he was like, wasn't my decision. And so I was like, oh, what happened there? Don't know if anyone has any inside scoop on that, but I'm listening if you do. Because I was like, oh, and that kind of sucks. Their husband and wife, they both have like that steady gig that they just lost to. I was like, oh, you do? Come on, man. That just hurts the household. Oh my God, I love Dylan Dog. Yeah. Okay, so the funny thing is, I've always been a Brandon Ruth fan too. Uh, oh, that's so cute, Mark. Isn't it funny? Daughters get you in, and then you get stuck. I know. My sister and I watched. Well, I'm the one who got my family into the DC shows, and it was because of Legends too that I started watching the other ones. I was like, crap, Legends has everybody from everything, so we got to catch up. I didn't talk to him or I didn't meet him, but I saw Ruth at Wizard World uh, at the end of last year, and he was just so like sour, kind of, and I'm like, geez, he seems so sweet and happy-go-lucky and stuff, and he's sitting there kind of shit-faced, for so much of it, and I didn't realize him. Like, he was probably like upset too, sitting there with knowing that this was the end and it wasn't his decision for it to be the end. So, or maybe something was going on in his life that, had him down. But his wife, Courtney Ford, was absolutely adorable, so bubbly and sweet. I saw them on a panel together and stuff too. So I was just surprised because he seems so like, I like his aw shucks ability, and I was like, oh, why so grumpy? It doesn't go with your character and like everything. But I love Dylan Dog. I wish they'd turn that into a show. I like him and Sam Huntington's chemistry too. So I always hoped that would turn into something. I was bummed. You could tell they wanted to turn it into a franchise, but it didn't pan out. Anyway, that was my little thing. Not ragging on him. I was just surprised. So anything else you guys are watching or anything you want to talk about? I don't want to just steer and take over the conversation. Yeah, see, Dylan Dog would be a great show. I'm surprised it didn't. I don't know, maybe now they could do that. I think both of them are free. I was kind of hoping after Being Human, Sam Huntington and stuff, they'd kind of make that work. And I could see it as a CW show or a streaming show. Screw it, put it on Netflix. This would be a good time to do that. I do love how quarantine has sort of become a time for actors and showrunners to kind of take a breath and see what they can pull off as, like a revival effort and come together. Kind of every little thing they do, to see the feedback they get from it. They could just, I want revivals though, more than reboots in the most cases. Oh my God, Supernatural or Smallville. I know, I want to start watching Supernatural from the beginning again. I miss the beginning. I really miss the beginning. Mark, yes, I do watch British shows. I haven't seen She-Ra. It's sort of, is it kind of like an anime style? I watched the cartoon as a kid, but I haven't watched it again. And Mark, yes, British shows. So I just watched the pilot of Killing Eve. Tom's been raving about it and has been watching it. So I saw that and I am interested. So I will check more of that out. I like it. And then I watched Deadwater Fell on Acorn with David Tennant. Trying to think of, it is anime-esque. Okay. Yeah. I haven't really watched much animation in general, except for Family Guy and American Dad, stuff like that. But I haven't been watching many new British shows though. Like Netflix, they had The Stranger. I saw that. I don't know, which British shows are you watching, Mark? I've seen all the older ones like Musketeers, Happy Valley. Okay. Silk and Line of Duty. We'll check those out. A legal drama? Okay. I'm trying to think if I've heard of Silk. I know. What I love too about the British shows is Line of Duty sounds like a cop show. They I love how they have a lot of the same cast. Oh, I watched Loch Ness way back. That was a good one. I watched the stuff that's on Acorn. What's the Netflix flower show? No, I haven't seen that one. What's it about? Oh, the Great is that the one where they make like really cool stuff out of flowers, kind of like the Rose Bowl parade stuff? Because I think I saw something about that, and that seemed cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds. I might check that out. I know a lot of the shows I've been watching are so heavy that I could use like a comedic break. Oh, Dead to Me. I saw season 2 of Dead to Me. That's hilarious. If you guys haven't seen the first season too, both seasons are really worth binging. It's like dark humor kind of, but it's still really funny. Yes. Yay, Mark. Did you watch the second season? While watching the second season, I'm like, it's not as good as the first until the finale. And then I was like, oh, that's it. They have me hooked. I have to see what happens next. James Marsden's so funny on it too. Like the ladies rock, of course. Christina Applegate and Linda Cardellini are really amazing. They do some great work on that show. But yeah, James Marsden, oh my gosh. Oh, speaking of him, I watched Westworld the first season and the second season premiere. And it's just weird. Like, I don't know. I thought the robots premise might kind of, because it's not really my thing. I thought I would be like, nah. Bobby, you're hilarious. Oh. Wait, why are you screaming? In a good way? That way? James Marsden doesn't age. These guys are killing me. These ageless men, Jared Leto, James Marsden, Rob Lowe. I'm like, what's their secret? They found the fountain of youth, and I need to know where it is because it's insane. In high school, my friend had a huge crush on James Marsden, so I went to see X-Men with her without even knowing what it was about or caring, and I walked away with a huge crush on Hugh Jackman instead. Yes, Paul Rudd and Keanu Reeves. Seriously, oh, God. Brad Pitt, too. Those guys. My goodness. Oh, Westworld. Yes, I started it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like, first of all, I didn't expect the whole different timelines going on throughout the entire first season. So that was a twist because that was sort of kind of like The Witcher, where, except it was more seamlessly done. So you weren't aware of there being so many different timelines since so much of it takes place in Westworld. So you can't tell. But yeah, so then like by the last few episodes of the first season, I was like, what? He's what? And I'm like, wait, that's now and then and what? So it was like for 3 consecutive episodes. I was like, what the hell is happening? So then I just needed to know what was happening. Yeah, that was, yeah. So like those were all really good twists. And then the season finale was so dark. And I was like, ooh, they went there? Why? Oh, that's messed up. And then the second season, first episode, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about like if this is going to become the show where the robots escape and like go into the real world and start wreaking havoc. Is that what it turns into? Because I'm just like, I don't know. I wasn't sure, but those twists were all really good. I'm like, okay, didn't see any of those coming. Super creepy. But then oddly too, like after watching kinda, you like the third season? Okay. Oh wait, is Aaron Paul in the second season? I've only watched the first episode of the second season. Is Aaron Paul on Westwood? I mean, it has a lot of actors I like too, so I don't want to totally give up on it. Okay. Wait, so then does she not stay with James Marsden? Poor Teddy. In the third season, okay. Oh man. Only the first episode of season 2. I binged it like crazy. And then, spoiler alert. Oh, Tommy Flanagan from Gladiator, the one with the scar over his eye. Mark, it's okay. I don't mind spoilers. Wait, does Teddy leave the show? Okay, so here's the thing though. Yeah, okay, that guy is awesome. Did you ever watch Motive? It was a Canadian show, but Canada has so many great shows they should air here more often. Saving Hope is another one of them. It was on, both of those shows were on Ion, but Flanagan was on Motive like the last season or two. Okay, so here's my thing. If the robots start doing their own thing and kind of going off, campus and getting crazy, then what happens like with fixing them? Because they're seemingly immortal now because people can, oh, that's right, he was in the Sons of Anarchy. That's another show. I don't know. I haven't watched that one. I probably should. Sons of Anarchy, Justified, I'm kind of curious in. Motive was a great Canadian, it was like a procedural detective kind of drama where it reveals who did it and like the killer and the dead person, but then the cops have to work out the motive, like why. So it's kind of like the mystery's still there, even though like kind of how so it kind of works its way backwards from a case. So it was one of my favorite shows too. It was really well done. I still recommend checking it out. I was bummed when that show ended because it could kind of go on too forever. So it's really cool the way they kind of do it. So they start piecing the case together, but it always starts like the killer, the victim, and then everything in between you don't know. It's like, how does it get there? How are they related? What interaction did they have with each other? And then Saving Hope, which Smallville fans, it has Erica Durance and Michael Shanks in there, and their love interests. And I love that show because it's like a supernatural spin on a medical drama. So it literally is Ghost Whisperer meets Grey's Anatomy, even though I don't watch Grey's Anatomy. And a hint of The Gifted Man. I don't know if anyone watched that with Patrick Wilson. So what happens is Michael Shanks' character ends up in a coma, but his spirit lingers on in the hospital. So he kind of can, I haven't seen her sci-fi movies, but I love her too. She's awesome. She's my favorite Lois. So you might like this show because she's like very pragmatic. And she's also a doctor, and Michael Shanks is a surgeon. So he's in this coma, living in limbo, kind of helping other spirits he comes across as other patients. And then And then, well, I mean, it'll make it more intriguing. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but when he does wake up from the coma, then the rest of the show is him still being able to see these spirits. So as a doctor, he can kind of see them and knows how to help them. So, yeah, it's really good. It gets kind of a little love triangle-y and soap opera-y at times, but they kind of work their way through that too. So for the most part, it's like a great show. Very, very entertaining. I highly recommend it. If you like medical dramas, romance, and the supernatural, it's like a home run of a show. So sidebar, because you gotta love Canadian TV. And that was another one of those shows that NBC started off airing in the summer here while it was airing on CTV. And then they decide to drop it. Meanwhile, it becomes like a huge success in Canada. And most of the stars on there too, you'll see in Hallmark movies. So if anybody here enjoys Hallmark movies, you'll notice so many of the actors in it. It's just Wendy Crewson's in it, Benjamin Ares. It's a really good cast, great ensemble chemistry. So it's on Hulu now, and it's also on Ion Plus. I never watched The 100. Mark, your daughter really got you hooked on CW shows. Do you watch Supernatural or Smallville? Or did you? Yeah, sorry. Oh, I know. It was 100 kind of like apocalyptic. Well, if you ever have tons of time on your hands, you can catch up on Supernatural. It's 15 seasons in. I feel like 100. Oh, I can see how if like Smallville was a little too teeny boppery for you. Because there are a lot of shows now too that it's like after a certain point, I'm like, I don't really feel like watching a bunch of high school kids. And that's how Smallville started. But at the time, I was like, yes. Well, I would love to see more of Tom Welling. Please and thank you. Yes. So that's why you probably like Supernatural. Wait, did you see The Boys? If we're going to talk about Eric Kripke, now we got to talk about The Boys. Looks like season 2 is coming soonish. He's teasing an announcement soon. Yeah. The Boys is so messed up. Like, it makes me scared that if Supernatural wasn't on CW, what would they do? I would be like freaking out week to week. I think they had started filming because I remember Carl Urban and Cass posting photos of them filming season 2. Yeah, The Boys is absolutely nuts. I mean, you gotta love a show that takes an invisible superhero that's indestructible and finds the most creative way to dispose of them. And I mean, it was disgusting, but kind of ingenious too. And if you guys are cool with the spoiler, I will tell you how. Or if you want to see it unfold for yourself, you'll know how twisted I can be too. There's just so many gross things. Oh God, and Chase Crawford's character is so scummy. Okay, so the indestructible superhero, they take a bomb and use it as a suppository, so they explode him from the inside, and it's disgusting. It is so gross. Oh my God. But it's like, yeah, that sort of makes sense. It's the only way to kill him. It's so gross. That and then when Chase Crawford's fishman dude gets his well-deserved comeuppance in the gills, which is also weird and gross. But yeah, that show's very twisted. The Deep. Thank you. I could not remember his name for the life of me. It was a little bit ago when I saw it. Yeah. Wait, and then what's the Captain America-esque's name? I hate how mean he is. Yeah, it's so twisted and gross, but in a great way. I kind of love the amount of swearing there is in all these shows. Oh, home is he Homelander? Is that what he is? I think he might be Homelander. God, he's the worst. He's so terrible. There's nothing worse than someone who acts like they're cookie cutter good and then is like the cruelest, dirtiest, like skeeviest, heartless person underneath. Oh. But yeah, it's a good show. That and Umbrella Academy, those are sort of in the same vein, I'd say, which comes back in July, Umbrella Academy. So I'm glad I watched it recently. That's also another good one with really messed up stuff that happens in that too. Comic book shows, there's like this CW version, and then when you get to streaming platforms, oh my God, things go dark very quickly. They are not meant for your kids. Umbrella Academy is good. Again, it's another one with, like the mystery of it gets you hooked. And the kind of powers they have. Like one of the guys' abilities is to see ghosts and kind of like channel the beyond. So the gist of Umbrella Academy, on the same day in 1985, 42 women who were not pregnant suddenly become pregnant and give birth within like the course of hours. And there's this eccentric billionaire who is able to adopt 7 of those 42 special gifted kids. And then he raises them, but he's not like a father figure raising them. He wants to see what they're capable of doing and kind of makes like this kiddie team of like superheroes. So it's really like messed up what he does to the kids. And then, so then it cuts to the present, and now he's died, and that brings all the kids back home together. So it's like a mystery of how did he die? And then there's a whole other threat of these, there's also like kind of a time travel element, like one of the kids can time travel. So he sees the future and he sees like the apocalypse and everything is destroyed. And so he's trying to save the world and his family at the same time. So there's like a lot of stuff going on. Then there's one that doesn't seem like she has any abilities. So there's like the mystery of what can she do? You'd like it, especially if you like the CW superhero shows and stuff and anything with powers and stuff like that. There's a lot going on. Yeah, and the time travel bit's interesting. It's not like timeless time travel. It's more so just kind of like jumping through like a wormhole to the spot and then back and forth. So it's not like super time travel heavy in that way. And then wait, Sinbad. I have not seen Sinbad. Mm-mm. Is it sort of in the same vein as Atlantis and Musketeers and stuff like that? If it is, I need a show like that. and Merlin. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so excited for Cursed coming out on Netflix. Speaking of Merlin, I think I talked about this last week with some of you guys. But Mark, you like British stuff. You'd probably like Cursed. So it's kind of the Arthurian tale from the. Okay, Sinbad's on Prime. A little hook here. All right, I'll look into Sinbad because yeah, I kind of need something that's a little bit more uplifting and a little bit of cheesiness. Even the comedies I'm watching are kind of dark. So. Oh, okay. Colin Morgan. Oh, if you like Colin Morgan, Mark, another show is the Living and the Dead, or Between the Living and the Dead. Have you seen that? That's a show. There was only one season, and it's left a little open-ended, and they don't know why they did not renew it. But you really like that. So it's kind of like a little bit of the supernatural element to it. It's sort of Victorianish era. But I think you would like that one too, because there's again a mystery element to it. The Living in the Dead. Hold on, I will get you the right link. I'll pop it up in here. And it was it was a really good show. Like I binged it, like I think almost in a day. It was obsessively like binge worthy. And then let me see. I'm gonna go through Colin Morgan. And I don't know why they didn't go ahead with the second season. It was really fascinating. Yeah, The Living and the Dead. Here's a little link to the IMDb page so you get a better idea. It was only 6 episodes. Yeah, it takes place in the 1890s. You kind of question what's real, what's not. It's kind of a little ghosty. There's sort of like a little haunting or curse element, but it also gets kind of like he's also kind of like a psychiatrist, so he's taking it as a more, pragmatically and scientific. Meanwhile, there are all these things that are happening. But warning, the way it ends really wants you have more. So that's the problem with a lot of these British shows. I really want to watch a lot of them, but then when it's just one season, I'm like, I'm going to be so unsatisfied when there isn't another one. But it's still worth watching. It was I really enjoyed it. So, but yeah. That, and if you haven't seen Musketeers and Atlantis, those are really fun ones too. Oh, and you probably saw The Fall, Mark. Colin Morgan was in that too, if you like. Have you guys seen Miranda? That's a great BBC show. That's a great comedy. I wish they played it here in the US. I don't know why they didn't. But that's one of my favorites. The Musketeers is one of my top BBC shows, and Merlin. Yeah, of course you have to maintain your cultural identity. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of what else. Happy Valley is a really good one. Broadchurch. they do period pieces really well. So that's why the Musketeers was the perfect balance of everything too. And it can work as like a family show too, because there'd be like action sequences, but it wouldn't get like gross violence. Action, adventure, romance, it had everything. I love that show. I miss it. Whitechapel. I haven't seen Whitechapel. Wait, is Whitechapel Jack the... Oh, Ripper Street. How could I forget? Ripper Street. I love Ripper Street. Oh, and then Copper. Copper was another show that was like Ripper Street, but that one was cut short too. The Luther's one I've been wanting to check out. Whitechapel's about copycat serial killers, like Jack the Ripper, but like his copy, like the Jack the Ripper copycats. All right, I gotta check out Luther now. Here we go, expanding my watch list. Have you guys seen Ripper Street with Matthew McFadyen? And Jerome, what's his last name? From Game of Thrones. I love Ripper Street. I'll throw that there too in case you haven't. Okay, so if you like Whitechapel and you like the Jack the Ripper stuff, Ripper Street takes place after Jack the Ripper. So they're still kind of worried about something like that happening again. Each season kind of focuses on something different. I don't know what the Cray twins are. Jack, okay, Jack. Oh, and then Copper was the other one. I think you'd like these. Except Copper is more Canadian than British. 1960s. Oh, wait. Oh, that's what the Cray twins are? Okay. I'm just throwing these out there. The Crays. Okay. Never heard of them. Trying to think about other British shows. I mean, Outlander. I love Outlander. That doesn't count as a British show, probably. Even though Scotland, you know. Fun chatting. Thank you for dropping in. See you next week. You're monopolizing me. No, that's what I'm here for. I love talking about this stuff. And if I get you guys hooked on all the shows I love, we can just talk about them. Oh, okay. Wait, I wanted to share because I came across news of a Peter Dinklage, Jason Momoa vampire thriller. Dropping the link in here too, because this sounds like an April Fool's joke, but I don't think it's fake. So they're teaming up for an action-adventure vampire film. Dinklage will play Van Helsing, last in the long line of vampire hunters. He develops an uneasy partnership with a vampire, Momoa, who has taken a vow never to kill again. Together, they run a scam from town to town where Van Helsing pretends to vanquish the vampire for money, but when a massive bounty is put on the vampire's head, everything in this dangerous world full of monsters and magic is now after them. And the project is further described as a fun action adventure that's like Midnight Run in a Bram Stoker world. So it's like a vampire buddy cop movie. I can't wait for it either, Bobby. Oh my God. I can't believe this. It sounds so awesome. Oh my God. It's going to be hilarious. Any idea when it comes out? Oh, and then Bobby, I gotta ask you, is that Kevin Richardson vampire musical worth watching? Like, will I lose my respect for Kevin Richardson as a like devoted Backstreet Boys fan? He is my favorite. I saw him in Chicago when he was part of like a touring production, and he was really good in that too. So I know he can act. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, here, let me share the link to Bobby's review of that movie that I was talking about too, just so you guys know. I remember reading about it ages ago. Okay. Is it gross? Here's Bobby's review, you guys. I read your review, so I was like, I can see how the vampire lore that always bothers me too, especially like when you watch so many. You're right. It's like there's a universal just lore that's accepted. So don't throw random things in. Okay, well then, if The Boys is worse, then that's nothing. Well, I might just check it out just for Kevin. Thanks, Mark. Thank you for dropping in. Hope to see you again. I know I'm about to log off too. We're winding it down. It's worth. Okay. Where is it available? I mean, we'll probably end up on like Amazon or something eventually. Okay. That's the thing with screeners, right? They don't always tell you where you can see it. I'll keep my eyes peeled for it whenever it pops up. It's bound to show up somewhere. It is on Prime. Okay, wait, for pay on Prime or for free on Prime? Feels like one that you need a couple drinks to make it more fun. Oh, awesome. It's free. Yes, I will check it out. Oh, can't help it. Okay. I still love, in the end, that the Backstreet Boys show up at the end of that one and that whole little cameo that was totally unexpected. I'll still cue that up on occasion just for a chuckle. Oh, and Kevin was really funny when they had a guest spot on Unbreakable. Oh my God, I couldn't stomach Dead Seven. Like I tried watching it. Kevin smartly was not in that one. Nick Carter and the other guys are not good actors. And I don't really care for Nick. He was always my least favorite. So, but yeah, I tried watching it. I just couldn't. But I don't know if you ever saw them on Undateable. It ended up being the series finale, but oh my God, it was so funny. Krista Elia and yeah, it is hilariously overrated. The part I saw, like, I could only get through so much of it, and I was like, I don't even know if I can watch this whole thing. Undateable was with Krista Elia and oh my God, Brent Moran. Brett Moran. They're both comedians, and they would do the show live and improvise a lot of the time. So it was very topical, and they'd have guest stars too. So they'd like throw in jokes that were super, super current, like that day even. And the season finale, the Backstreet Boys appear for a proposal. But it's also Krista Elia and Brent Morin are, yes, he's hilarious. I saw his stand-up special after watching Undateable, and it ends up being the series finale, but it's still worth watching. Like, I didn't watch any of the episodes before seeing that. I watched it just for the Backstreet Boys. And everybody loves Kevin. He's their favorite. But Brent Morin, it was an NBC show, so I don't know, it might be on Hulu. I don't know if even Peacock has it available. It's on YouTube for sure. They do this whole like best friends breaking up montage to show me the meaning of being lonely. And I cried so hard. Oh my God. It's one of the funniest things ever. It was a good use of like guest stars like that too. Like, if you're going to do it, just drive it on home. And they did. They pulled out every single cliche that was imaginable for like the cheesy boy band video. Like, just the two dudes did all of it. It was so funny. You know what? I might even be able to find just that, because if you don't even see like the whole episode, just that part of it is really funny. Let me see. Oh, is it only on Twitter? No, it's a GIF. No, crap. It's somewhere. I've found it before. Let me see if I just do Undateable Backstreet Boys, because this specifically isn't doing it. Here we go. I think I might have found the whole episode for you. Yes, it's the whole episode. Okay, here you go. There you go. Alrighty. Thank you so much, guys. This was so much fun. Gotta log off too. So real life is calling me too. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys again next week. This was so much fun. And yeah, if you guys are watching anything throughout the week too that you're enjoying, just drop me a line and let me know. And hopefully the links in the chat box help people watching this after the fact too. So thank you as always for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. And until next week, happy watching.